Hi guys, it's Bree and welcome back to All Things Autism. In today's video, I want to talk to you about the difference between a tantrum and a meltdown. Now it seems like those two words get used interchangeably, right? Oh, he's having a meltdown, she's having a tantrum, and everybody kind of looks at them as being one and the same. But for those of you who have children with autism, you know that a meltdown is very different than that of a tantrum, that a child who's neurotypical, right? Somebody who doesn't have autism, somebody who doesn't have any sensory processing difficulties when they go through a tantrum. So many of us who have children who don't have autism or sensory issues, we're familiar with a tantrum, right? It's usually the, I didn't get the blue cup, you gave my brother the blue cup, I want the blue cup, I got the green cup, I want the iPad, you're not giving me the iPad, blah! I wanted the cookies with the chocolate chips and you got oatmeal raisin, whatever it is. And it sends our children, usually on the younger age, into a spiral of a tantrum, throwing themselves on the floor and screaming and crying, or whatever your child's tantrum consists of. And we know that we have to kind of wait it out, right? Not saying it's easy, but we wait it out and they kind of go up and then they come down. Sometimes they feel remorse. Sometimes they cry themselves to sleep because they're tantruming so hard. But when you have somebody who has autism or sensory processing difficulties, a meltdown is not the same as a tantrum. A meltdown isn't something that necessarily is being done on purpose to gain access to something, to gain their way. It's not this thought of, if I engage in a meltdown, well, eventually mom will give me the blue cup. Okay, I want you to imagine you have this sort of internal cup, an internal bucket, and you walk into a situation and all of the things that are going on, the amount of people, the expectations, the changes in routine, the light, the sound, the smells, just the difference of your normal, usual, everyday. It's just adding water to your internal cup, okay? It just keeps adding water. Now, to anybody else, maybe they get to a point where they're like, okay, I feel my internal cup kind of flowing up. I'm gonna say, I need a minute. This has happened to me when I used to suffer from anxiety really bad. I would feel that internal cup sort of bubbling up and I would say to my husband, I gotta tap out. I gotta get out of here. I gotta go outside, just to sort of like release the feeling I was having. I knew I was having it and I knew what to do. But for some people, that internal cup just keeps flowing, just keeps filling up until finally it's just overflowing, okay? And they don't know how to stop it. They don't know what to do to make that feeling, that adrenaline, that fear, that whatever that is happening inside, they don't know how to make it stop until finally it's too late and boom, we're in the middle of a meltdown. Now, what does a meltdown look like? Well, sometimes a meltdown could look similar to a tantrum. Okay, it could look like the person on the floor screaming and kicking and crying and saying, no, I want, whatever it is. Now, the difference is a meltdown could happen with somebody, doesn't matter how old they are, a young child, an adolescent, an adult. Okay, so oftentimes, and I've seen this happen before at work, we'll be working with adults that have autism and we'll have a person that is going through a meltdown, and I've heard staff say, oh, you know, he's tantruming again because mom's away and he can't handle it. He can't handle when mom goes away for work. Now, the truth of that is, no, he can't handle it. He can't. It's a change in his routine. It's a change in what his norm is, his safety is, his comfort is at home. And it's making his whole internal cup overflow to a point that he's in the middle of a meltdown. Now, a meltdown, to be quite honest with you, can be scary. It really can. It can be a scary thing to watch somebody go through. They can hurt themselves. They can hurt others. They can destroy property that's around them, or not, or it doesn't look that way. But it can get to a point where it is very intense. And the reason why it is so important, right? Some people might be like, well, who cares? What's the difference between calling it a tantrum or a meltdown? It's so important if your loved one experiences meltdowns, that their team, that their staff, that your family, that the people that are in their lives understands that this is not a tantrum. This is not done purposefully. This is something that oftentimes they are out of control. So what's the plan? What are the triggers? What sets your loved one off into that meltdown road? What are some things that proactively can be done? What are things that reactively need to be put into place when a meltdown is happening to keep your loved one and the people around them safe? Is it time of year? I've worked with somebody that around Christmas time, we know the meltdowns are going to be up there because all the things that usually make people happy, the Christmas music, the lights, the Christmas shows, the anticipation for the holidays, that does not work with this person. And it sets all of that internal bucket overflowing. And the meltdowns are serious and they're intense, and we need a plan to know how to help that person. So if you have people in your life, right, family members or friends, that when your loved one is having a meltdown, like, oh, he's tantruming again. Oh, he's not getting his way. He's a little spoiled. It's really important that they understand the difference. Okay, my child, my daughter, has tantrums. My son, who doesn't have autism, but he has severe ADHD, and he definitely has some sensory issues going on there. Some of his tantrums go into meltdown status, where he is out of control, where he could hurt himself, where he has destroyed things, because he cannot make that water that's overflowing, he can't put it back in the bucket. Once it's overflowing, it's out. And then it's my job as his mommy to help him through that. Okay, how about you guys? Do your loved ones experience meltdowns? What do you do? What's your plan? Leave that in the comments. I would love to know what your plan of action is, either proactively or reactively. And guys, if you like this, if you think other people can benefit from understanding the difference, please feel free to share it. Hit that little like. If you're not a subscriber, I would love for you to become one. And we shall chat again soon.